Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out, but Bruxa had taken an interest in it.
That hand has to be pretty pungent by now. Like, really stinky. I mean, how long did Geralt have this in his bag?
It's Dettlaff's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
Okay. The ring would be of much interest to me as well.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here. Guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I in turn gave it to Dettlaff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Okay.
Can't you just summon Dettlaff? You're both hired vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Dettlaff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
But you wanna bet we need to do the other way too? Because his way won't work.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinares' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy of Kermoran, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinares never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinares gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Dettlaff was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
That would be interesting. Well, then let's do it.
Kovinares spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
Interesting. Okay. Who are you gonna summon? Of course, the hand is still moving. So who are you contacting via Raven?
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
No drinks for me. Need a nap instead. Drinking is always good.
Barely say
Well,
no
not
to a
always, but
snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
many things. Seems you choose to misunderstand. I don't want to talk. This is set up.
Everyone's got some secret.
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe it wise at times to share one's secrets, unburden oneself to those one can trust.
This your sophisticated way of asking me if I trust you?
I prefer almost always to ask you directly. It seems a test of intelligence, one you just passed.
Maybe you should go first. Reveal one of your secrets. After all, you vampires lead very interesting lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Oh, so many things. Well, what you've been doing? I mean, I know you have been part of a castle's or a fortress's exterior decoration for some time, but after that,
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower.
that's good to know.
Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Yes, we did. I went
Back
splendidly.
then. Yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Ooh. Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now.
So, but what's it like being dead? As one who's sort of in between being dead or alive, I'd say. That information would come in handy at some point, maybe.
Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Oh, come on, that's horrible.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh. Experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Well, not for
Depends
us.
on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Handling... How are you handling abstinence? Not drinking blood. Guess it can't hurt to know that.
Got a new life, new body. That give you a new start, blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not
You
to
got-
worry, Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Nice, thank you. Because curiosity is a trait that a lot of humans share with Geralt. Just so you know.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detloff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
Man, that
For
was
a
some
bit.
time ago.
But Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard.
Well, shit happens.
We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help.
Always?
However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
Interesting. Interesting. Oh. Very interesting considering that we possibly have to face off against the higher vampire. Yeah, very interesting in fact. Maybe there's something you want to ask me, something more specific.
Alright, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If
Please
you
do.
were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
That's difficult. I mean, from the point of me saying that, of course, because playing an epic story as the likes of Geralt is great, but for Geralt himself, well, you know, to have a life, to have a family, that's something pretty quintessential for a human being, and he cannot have that. The family part, well, he can, sort of, if he really tries. Yeah.
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment.
Of course it will, of course it will. Ah, there's you see. They're back. Hopefully with some useful information.
Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
I don't know. Maybe. I appreciate the compliment. Not as far as I know, but then again, how much does he really know about the trial of the grasses? We've investigated it a bit, but do we know the exact ingredients? Well, how would they get their hands on higher vampire genes?
Far as I know, none. Now what you got for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Well, why would that be? I mean, hauntings are a speciality of witches.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. But perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder, or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
I'd venture the latter. Oh, but we actually fought a white. Well, not a spotted white, but we actually fought a white before. They are the guys who can summon bar guests. Interesting.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something.
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse, in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Shouldn't I have some white saliva? Oh, anyway, it's time to go some monster hunting.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into the vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
I'd say we will not find a suitable alternative, and therefore need to find whatever we need to find. We need the bestiary to learn more about the spotted whites. La Cage Au Fou. Okay. Oh, shit, wrong. Bestiary is in here. It is a... It's not a cursed one? Is it a necrophage? Yeah, appears to be. See, we fought whites. And he didn't say spotted whites were extinct, he said whites were extinct. Oh no, actually he said spotted whites were extinct. Well, the best defense against spotted whites, stay calm and leave them alone. Fragment of tree, blah blah blah, nobody cares. Are they fought differently? No, necrophage oil and axis sign, but... Oh yeah, actually they are. Necrophage oil and ignis sign, which is perfect since I am a master of the ignis sign. Far away are they? Or it? How far away is it? All the way down at this place, which means there is actually an undiscovered location on the premises. Martina Lipska, engineer and pug lover. She got a pretty big gravestone. Must have been quite something. Oh, by the way, if the mouse is a bit sketchy today, if the mouse movement is a bit sketchy today, it's because I have to use a different mouse. One of the two mice I incidentally, thankfully... Hey, can I not call Roach? Oh, balls, that's not what I wanted to do. Call... Oh, right, wrong mouse button, sorry. Wrong keyboard button. It's because I'm using one of my two reserve mice that I have. And those are very, 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 very cheap mice. One of which I actually got as a promotional present from one of the parties on their one of our parties, political parties, as a what's it called? When they have their tug of war. I'm calling it a tug of war. The power struggle. It's political. When they're campaigning, they're giving out presents. Most of the time, something like a lighter or things akin. I don't approve of that at all. But anyway, they got one time they gave out a mouse. I can imagine it's a pretty damn cheap thing.
The dressings, bandages. Where did I put them?
I think he's dead.
Forget it. Bandages won't do him any good.
What? Oh, but he breathed still a moment ago.
Breathed his last then. Bled to death. Legs broken. Femoral arteries ruptured.
Oh, that's bad.
Wound like that, you're dead in minutes.
Actually, in seconds.
What happened here exactly?
If it's a bad rupture.
I was rolling through, fully loaded, when I heard screams. This one crawled towards the road, then drooped to the ground, lost consciousness. I jumped down to help him, dress his wounds. Then you appeared.
Well, there must be something awful happening.
Stand and step away from him.
What? Me? But what is your grief?
Don't make me say it again. That's good advice.
Will you tell me what it is you seek?
Needed to see if you were lying. You'd be covered in blood if you dealt those wounds. Just got it on your hands, though, so all's in order.
Who might you be, precisely?
A witcher.
Oh. Do you expect some beast might have killed him?
Might well be.
See what we have here. Legs broken, but cause of death's the wound. Small but deep, edges unfrayed. Either a thrust weapon or a thick claw. Maybe a wyvern's. Tough to say, and... breastplate's unusual. Dented. It's got a patina.
An antiquity, I believe. I deal in these things, so... what's puzzling is... why did he done it?
Not likely to learn that from him.
Nope.
Now to figure out where he came from. From that house, I'm assuming, but need to investigate. Got some work to do. So long.
Isn't that the house we need to go in anyway?
Wait, I will come with you.
What, you will? Okay.
So be it. But stay close, keep it down, and don't touch a thing.
Extreme extreme cosplay. Holy Hannah. Okay, fine. And it is. Oh no, it's the undiscovered location. No, it isn't the undiscovered location. I'll be. What is it then? Level 40 quest. Well, we always got time for level 40 quest, don't we? Main quest being 39. Oh, nobody cares. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, I need to use that mouse because I spilled a splash of water on my mouse. Really, just the smallest splash of water, and it absolutely self-destroyed, which is a shame. Now, I am really happy that I bought a mouse that only that was only a knockoff of a brand. Because if I bought a
from the inside, clearly been jostled though. Something tried to get out.
Because if I had
The very thought
bought
sends a cold
a
wind
brand
down my
mouse, I'd have paid much more, and it would have probably self-destructed just as easily. Okay, apparently that's not something I can do.
Trail leads to the house on the hill.
back, which stands silent as a grave.
Must have been here he broke his legs. Fell while climbing over the wall. Trying to leave the property probably, after he didn't manage to open the gate.
Yeah, it's a bad idea in full armor. By the by, I have had a... Ooh, that's not good. I've had a education, or I've had a time as a medic. So I know, because I've learned, that if you rupture the femoral artery too much, you know, if it's a big rupture, you could bleed out in seconds. About 10 to 15 seconds you could have bled to death. Which isn't to say bled out as in completely lost all your blood. That's not what bleeding out means. In fact, you don't actually need to lose that much blood, considering it's about... okay, I actually am not sure about this because we didn't learn it, the exact numbers, but I think a grown man who has round about 7 liters of blood could bleed out by losing 1.5 liters of blood. Ah, so it works. Okay, fine. Why didn't it open the first time?
Damn it.
Good gods!
Yeah, that looks pretty gruesome. I'd absolutely agree with you there.
Servant, stabbed to death. Over a dozen blows with a sharp object. Some post-mortem.
I cannot believe this the work of a man. It was a monster, to be sure.
Actually,
Silver
probably wasn't.
tableware. Elven engravings. Silver tableware.
I want to loot
Elven engravings.
the food. Oh, books. Noble House of Toussaint. It's probably a noble house of Toussaint. Sangral. The legendary line which some trace back to the first lords of the land now lying in Toussaint and northwest Hackland. The first mention of Wilhelm the Bold. And so on and so forth and so on and so forth. Torresella of the Two Towers crest, an ancient line whose founders most likely first settled the land of present-day Toussaint around the year something. They waged fierce war against the Elvens until the 6th decade of the 11th century, when all of what is now Toussaint fell under human control. Okay, I think we're dealing with that line, considering
What the hell is this?
that
Setting for a
we've
banquet?
seen
It
Elven
seems so.
silverware.
What's your suspicion? Did none survive? Gods!
I do not know, and we're gonna find out next episode. So, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and please do comment and subscribe. Bye.